Hey everybody! Hey, have you ever priced real patina copper sheets of it? It's outrageously expensive. We're going to make our own. We're going to make our own using Stone Coat's new Speed Cure, which is a Countertop Pro epoxy, meaning that it sets up much quicker than your regular countertop epoxy. You've got about 30-45 minutes working time. I want to get my edges fogged because I don't want that white to show through. And then I'm going to mix up the Speed Cure, which is a little bit thicker than the regular countertop epoxy. So you want to be a little bit more cautious when you're mixing it up, that you don't entrain a lot of air into it. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I've got my cute little mixing paddle. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Let me get my sides and my bottom scraped really well. And the other thing too is you want to be aware of your temperature. The warmer it is, the quicker the Speed Cure is going to set up. As we get into cooler temps, you can put your bottles of Part A and Part B in a hot water bath, but you want to be careful you don't get the epoxy too heated up because you don't want it to set up any quicker than it already is, right? And with this, I went half and half, with half paste in one and half mica powder in the other. See the difference between those two? You can see that? So let's just get this poured out. And the paste is Intense Copper by Just Resin, and the mica powder is Copper Metallic by Polycolor, which is Stone Coat. I'm going to, I just want to get this melted out, and again, I want to make sure that I've got enough that I'm going to get over my edges. So another thing to keep in mind about the Speed Cure, because of the fact that it does set up faster, you've only got 30 to 45 minutes working time, and it's a little bit thicker, it doesn't have time to self-level out to that 1/16 of an inch like your regular epoxy does. So it's important to get it spread out evenly and make sure you get your edges coated. Now, because I want to go for kind of that aged, hammered copper look, I very, very lightly fogged that with some black spray paint, and then I'm going to hit it with some clear isopropyl alcohol. And I'm not looking for any defined cells at all. All I'm looking for is to get a little bit of that black in there, again, to kind of give it that hammered look and not that solid copper look. And then we'll move on from here. So I'm going to let that alcohol dissipate, and then we're going to get ready to get our patina in there. And I have vintage teal, which is this one here. And that vintage teal that's a satin. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. And then I also have Seaside, which is like one of my all-time favorites. Really, really cool. But that's going to give us two a little bit different colors of that patina. Man, I tell you what, there's something else about that Speed Cure, because, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I don't know if I can get close, because there's something else with that Speed Cure that if you can see the metallics really, see that was just clear isopropyl alcohol, but it almost looks as if I used a metallic in the alcohol. See how that copper is reacting? And that's because it's setting up faster and those metallics don't have a chance to settle. Now, again, to go with a little bit more of that hammered and antique look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a plastic grocery bag, and you always want to make sure you turn those inside out so the print is not on the outside, because it can transfer. But now I'm just going to bag it, per se. And what I'm doing is it's breaking up those cells, but it's also kind of chopping in that black. So now there's going to be a mixture of the two coppers and then also the black. Now, when you're going to patina, we're going to fracture this just like we normally would if we're using black spray paint or white spray paint. So you want to make sure that you hit it with the isopropyl alcohol before the spray paint has a chance to dry. Now, normally I would wait with regular Stone Coat epoxy because of the fact it stays fluid for so much longer, like an hour or two. With this setting up quicker, I'm going to get my patina in there right away because I know the epoxy isn't going to continue moving. And as you can see, I'm going kind of some heavy areas, some light areas, and then I'm also using the two different colors of that patina. And then as soon as I get the spray paint on there, I'm going to fracture it. And that's where really the magic happens, because you can see what happens when the isopropyl alcohol hits that spray paint. It really starts to give you that antique, that patina look. And then the two different colors of green, per se, that I'm using really give it that real authentic patina look. Wow. Now, again, I'm only, what, 15 minutes in? So I could actually bag this again, and when I've done this on a full countertop, what I did was I waited about probably an hour where the epoxy, on the regular countertop epoxy, where it was almost to the point where it was sticky. And I waited that long, and then I went over and bagged it, and it gave the coolest effect. It's almost like it lifted up peaks that you didn't think were going to self-level and go back down again, but they did. But it almost gave it a three-dimensional look. It was really, really cool. That is really pretty. That's it. That really is it, and really gives a cool patina look. Now I could go with some areas of a little bit more heavier, so let's try that. And it's up to you where you want to stop, and it's up to you of what colors of patina that you want to put in there. It looked really cool the way it was, but you know, you got to go on just a little bit further. So now I'm going to jump ahead a little bit after the epoxy has started to set up. And it's not exactly where I want it right now, where I want it where it's really, really sticky, where when I pick it up, it's not going to carry any epoxy along with it. It's just really, really sticky. So I was a little bit early here, but you know, that's just from being impatient. And it's speed cure, so it's going to set up quicker. But as you can see, I'm only bagging in some areas. I don't want to bag over the whole thing. I'm just adding some more looks to it. And so I'm just hitting some areas and kind of tying some areas in together, again, just to give it another look. Now, also with the speed cure, I am 1 hour in right now. I'm going to run the torch over it just to try to get some of whatever air bubbles might still be in there, which really doesn't look like too many. But you have to remember with the speed cure, if you're going to torch this late, you're probably going to end up with a very uneven surface because it's not going to have a chance to self-level once you heat it up. And I'm not concerned about being an uneven surface because a flood coat's going to go over the top and it's going to self-level and be absolutely perfectly smooth. Kind of a bird's eye. So this is the area right here that I just hit it with the bag. And you can see how it just changed kind of the complexion a little bit. Look at that copper, how that's sticking out. That's because of the difference in the speed cure. I'm going to get on this angle over here. See all that? That's from the metallics, the mica powders. So remember I used paste and mica powder, but look how those mica powders remain on top. And that's the difference with the speed cure. So you really do get some really, really cool effects with the speed cure. Yep, I'm 1 hour and 10 minutes in, but that is really, really pretty. And then you can see the areas that I hit with the bag, how it just changes the look of that just a little bit. Let's come back and get a little bird's eye again. That's really pretty. But wow, how that copper jumps out. And that's why I wanted to use those two different kinds of copper. And I know it looks gold in the camera, but it actually looks copper in person. It just looks like two different styles or two different types or colors of copper, if you will, just like what you would see in a regular patina copper, or copper that has patinaed. So if there's anything I want you to get out of this, whether you're using Stone Coat's Speed Cure or whether you're using the countertop epoxy, how easy it is to create your own patina copper look. More copper, more patina, different colors of patina. I even did a purple patina that a customer wanted in their home for their countertop. I've done bar tops. It's a very simple technique and really, really cool and really authentic. Whether it's for your personal projects, wall art, your own countertops, projects like these, I've spent 5 years doing this full time and have really dialed in how to mimic natural stone. And I want to share that with you. And we now offer hands-on training where you can get your hands wet and you can learn how to create some absolutely amazing designs. So check out our website at KCDCdesigns.com. Get signed up for a class. They fill up quickly, and we hope to see you there. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next video.